Hello and welcome to the MPL once again. Chris Dittmar and Albie Kidd with you. All thanks to Greenplay, the company that put in the artificial pitches around town. Albie, let's first off talk about the Premiership ladder. It's amazing.
Unbelievable. You've got 7 teams up there on 10 points. You've got Blue Eagles on top in 14. And the bottom 4, which includes Para Hills, South Adelaide, but Adelaide City and West Adelaide.
Yeah, it's all very tight.
Quite amazing.
And up until this week, I mean, Raiders lost to Comets last weekend 2-0, but to have them first and second, Blue Eagles and Raiders, the 2 teams that actually came up, what a great start to the season for those
it's
two,
quite amazing.
Clubs. Yeah.
Quite amazing. We mentioned Blue Eagles last week to Stardy, and it was mentioned that he's got a lot more to offer. Scored a hat-trick at the weekend,
yeah.
But you've mentioned that Raiders and Blue Eagles doing well in the top league. It's just testimony. The actual league right now is so tight, it's incredible.
Yeah, it is indeed. I want to mention the crowd at Raiders last week too. I went to the game, very, very good crowd. I was rapt to see so many people there, so that's a real good positive sign. And good to see some real quality on the pitch as well. Marco Kurz was there. I saw him in the stands watching a couple of players, so that was interesting as well. Let's look at some of the other results from last weekend as well, shall we?
Well, Dix, you look at the games there. Adelaide City versus Olympic. Adelaide City smacked Olympic there, which was a very good result for Adelaide City because Olympic are firing well. But I hear that there was a bit of stramash as well. There was an untidy game, but no love lost there. But especially with Halliday going to Olympic as well. But anyway, Adelaide City winning the game 3-1 and quite comfortable, they tell me.
All right, now Adelaide United youth team against Croydon. I wonder if Ange Costanzo drives his son to the game. But they led 1-0 Croydon, and then Ange's son came on as a sub for Adelaide United youth team and scored the equaliser. So I wonder how that conversation went.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't have gone down well at the dinner table, I think, with Ange there. But look, he's a good player, his lad. He is a good player, up and coming, a lot of potential. But to score the goal, the equaliser, late on in the game as well, jeez, when it went down well. All
right, Campbelltown back in action too. 2-0 win over Metro Stars, who had been going okay, so good win for Campbelltown.
Yeah, Campbelltown back on track, as you mentioned, but they are a good side. We knew they'd bounce back, and that's a good result against Metro Stars.
All right, I mentioned Comets beating Raiders 2-0, so a good win under the new coach.
Yeah, new coaches. I spoke to Dermasides at the weekend there. He says they won the game comfortably. But they're on track. They're back on track again, and good appointments.
Did they win comfortably, did they?
They did.
All right, that's interesting, because we'll get to the player votes now. The Raiders coach has given all 3 of his players the votes, but we'll get to that in just a second. Let's start off, see where Daniel Mullen scored from both coaches, which is good.
He has.
Para Hills, Markioro, Kamara sharing the votes there. And as for players getting votes from both coaches, again, Hamish McCabe is just on fire. He really is. So he's still getting votes each and every week. Let's go to the leaders board now, shall we?
Yeah, you look at Hamish McCabe on top there, 21. Testardi voted in that, got votes in that game as well, as you would expect. Ditz with the 3 goals. Pacific, he's up there at 14, Wooden on 14, and Testardi on 13. So the top 4 there are starting to get away from the rest, but it's a very tight situation there.
All right, Hamish McCabe, though, starting out the season really well.
But let me just say something about Raiders there. Nicky Kuzman, good friend of mine. Nicky, please, you must vote properly. You get beat 2-0 and you've got 3 players. 3, 2 and 1
This
votes.
isn't the Raiders Club Championship Award, you know. This is the Players Award, thanks to James Threadgold Jewellers, who give a Tag Heuer watch to the Player of the Year.
But really, it's on a serious note, we sort of look towards the coaches being sensible and being fair with the votes.
Yeah.
It just makes for a good competition for the end of the year.
All right, let's have a look at next week's games.
Well, Dick's round 7 coming up. You look at West Adelaide playing against Adelaide City. That's going to be an absolute cracker of a derby. For me, West Adelaide, you know, we need to speak to 30 seconds on West Adelaide. You know, to get beat 7-2 from Raiders, then they get beat from T3 Gully in the Cup 1-0, and then we tipped it last week that they were going to get a good result against Para Hills. That's went ugly for them. They got beat 2-1, so they're staring down the barrel. Can they beat Adelaide City at the weekend? I don't think so.
Yeah, you've got to ask a question, what's going wrong there? I know Stevie Di Giovanello really well. I know he's a hard-working coach. And I don't really know what to say, or I don't want to comment on it, but all I know is that he does work hard. He and his players need to get together and resurrect this whole situation.
Well, look, they're sitting second bottom of the league there, and relegation must be on their agenda. I think they've got to restructure this. I think they've got to plan differently. They've got to start picking up points. I think they've got 1 point to date, but there needs to be some strategy put in place so they get themselves up the league. And basically, at this point in time, avoid relegation.
All right, what are the other games of interest this weekend, Albert?
Yeah, you're looking at Parry Hills versus Campbelltown, Adelaide United, Metro Stars. That'll be a good game.
Very good game.
It'll be a big test for Metro because Adelaide United youth are a very good side.
Yep.
You look at the Comets playing against Adelaide Blue Eagles now.
Ooh.
Comets on song now. They've just won the last two. Adelaide Blue Eagles are definitely on song.
Yep.
So that would be a massive result for the new coaches of Comet, beating the top of the table Adelaide Blue Eagles.
And by the way, just a bit of coaching news, Theo Souness, who left Comets,
yes,
is now assistant coach to Paul Pezos at Adelaide United youth team.
Yeah, that was a quick move.
Yeah, and from what everyone says, a good teacher of young players, so he is a school teacher and a good one, so he'll fit in well working with the youth at Adelaide United.
I'm sure he will. Pezos as well is doing a great job there. So, but to get to get Theo coming in there to give him a bit of a hand, that's quite a smart move.
All right. And what's our live stream game this weekend, Albie?
Yeah, we're looking at a great game. That's Adelaide Olympic versus Raiders. Now, both teams got beat recently.
Yep.
Right, so they've got to bounce back. I'm tipping it's going to be a very, very tight affair. But I think, honestly, I really do think that Raiders are maybe going to sneak this one.
All right, big call from Albie Kidd. Enjoy your weekend at the Ampere. We'll see you next week.